Hey guys, welcome to Story Time. So in today's story, I'm going to tell you about the time my dad got stabbed while we were planning a wedding for one of my uncles. And I was about 15 years old at the time or so. And in my culture, in the Vietnamese culture, both families get together and it's usually a celebration, right? We cook a lot of food, we have a bunch of liquor, and everyone's sitting back and, planning the details of the wedding. So this was back when I was about 15. We're at my dad's restaurant. Both families are sitting across from each other on this long table. There had to have been about 30 of us or so. And we're planning the wedding. And I walk through and I see the adults talking. They're drinking some cognac. They're just hanging out. And thought nothing of it. I came over, scooped up some food. And it was kind of like a mini party, almost like a wedding party, right? So long story short, I'm walking through. 5 minutes later, someone flips, my uncle, my oldest uncle, flips the table, throws a bottle of cognac across the table and starts screaming. He starts cussing out somebody. And at this time, I was like, what's the big deal? Like, what's going on? Why would he cuss out somebody? Turns out he was cussing at my aunt. My aunt told him to go fuck off. And so as she was walking to the door, he was trying to lunge at her and chase her. While he was doing this, my dad had grabbed him and was trying to calm him down. And so him being an absolute horrendous drunk, my uncle looked over at my grandma and said, he called her a bitch. He said, bitch, you're the one that birthed this crazy little girl here, and you need to go teach her a lesson. So they got into a huge fight. My dad's grabbing my uncle's swinging at my dad. 3 more people jump in to try to break up the fight. Next thing you know, there's bottles flying across the restaurant. The women and children are screaming and running towards the door. And mind you, how embarrassing this is, because we're planning a wedding party, and this is only my side of the family fighting. The other people's family was sitting there in shock and horror as these people went at it. So now my uncle is fighting my dad. They're fist fighting, swinging at each other. My other uncle comes up and grabs my dad, and everyone's just screaming and hollering and going crazy, okay? So next thing you know, things start to calm down. My aunt, the one that was in the center of this whole thing, ran off and drove home. My uncle was still heated, so he decided to, he said, F this, I'm going to leave this place. And so he starts getting in his car and starts driving off. Mind you, everyone could catch a DUI because they're so wasted at this point. So my dad's dumb